Hello, I'm Dieonik, and welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa. So, we're doing things and stuff, and my hair looks horrible, but no one pointed out or I'll cry. It looks, my hair's doing like this thing where, it looks like one of those unboiled packs of ramen that's all clumped together. That's kind of what my hair's been doing today, so I'm trying to just let my bad hair day slide. I'm Ramen Head, super duper high school despair. The group that caused mankind's most despairingly maleficent, monstrous malefication last year. The group that pitted us against each other in this academic coliseum and broadcasted to the world. A hopelessly helplessly terrible group of people. And the identity of the puppet master. After all this time, we finally got our sights set on our true enemy. But first, let's get out of this awful place, shall we? I think we shall. We can talk once we've done that. Yeah, I agree. Okie dokie. Okay, so... what? Do I just try the door? Ah! Do I fire the rocket at the door? You have an all-accessing key. Rattle, 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 rattle. It's locked, but... there should be a way to open it now. Give me your key. Hey, Kirigiri, did you bring that key? Well, it would be silly if she didn't. That Monokuma's secret gadget thing you stole from the headmaster's office? Of course I have it. This key is vital in our trapping the puppet master. I wouldn't let it out of my sight. Okay, so something I will address is everyone was telling me that, if I would have gone to, do the whole Kirigiri story thing, that it would have turned out, and it would have been like, okay, well, from this point forward, you have to go back in time and go back to that question and answer it correctly. So I didn't miss out on that, but I was so worried. I was so worried that it was just gonna be like, oh, no, you screwed up your game, so... like, it's something I learned from, Corpse Party. I think I said that. Where I was, like, following a whole path. And, like, it was, like, 4 episodes of me going on the wrong path to end up with a bad end. And then me being like, what the hell? And then I had to go well, I didn't even record it. I kinda just went all the way back to the deciding factor. And then skipped all of the stuff. And then went back to, like, where it was new content and rejoined you guys. And it was such a mess, and I was, like, terrified of that happening here. But Corpse Party was really weird, and I'll assume that no other game is going to do that to me. So I didn't know that, though, so, you know, so that's why I panicked, and I was like, oh no, Kirigiri, I don't want to kill you, and then that happened, so hopefully everything is okay. It turned out the way that it was supposed to anyway. You guys missed out on probably a few conversations of the world ending or something. I don't know. Or everyone killing each other, I guess. Anyway. You said it can unlock any door in the academy, right? Oh, and thank you guys for letting me know that. Thanks for letting me know the information about being able to, I guess, reset the game from a certain point. I was really worried about it, as you saw, so hopefully there's nothing like that in the future, and if there is, then I'll know better. Yes, it can. Then it should work on that door over there, too. Two. Hey, Kirigiri, shouldn't that key be able to open this door, too? It's worth a shot. She slowly slid the Monokuma branded key into the door hole, turned it, and Click. Yes, it's opened. We should be able to get out of here now. Let's go. Let's. Opening the one sealed door, Kirigiri and I left the dump behind. Finally. I was finally out. But I didn't have time for a sigh of relief. Everyone has time for a sigh of relief. Just breathe. Take this moment to breathe, everyone. Alright. After all, the true battle was still to come. Okay, alright, well, I thought this actually happened last episode, but I guess not. So, yeah, I think everyone said that this was the last, Robert House, I believe, said that this was the last, chapter, that there were 6 chapters. If he didn't, someone did, or someone told me, I don't remember. Beyond the door was a space like a shaft, okay? Like a tunnel turned on its side. Or maybe a large chimney? Okay. My eyes traced a path along the ladder along the ladder of the wall. I felt like I was at the bottom of a bottomless pit. Okay, so I guess it was going up, and I don't know, the way it was described, I thought it was like just a straight tunnel with a ladder down the side, but that wouldn't make any sense at all. I took a hold of the ladder first, began my ascent, and Kirigiri followed after me. At least it's dark enough to where you don't actually get anything from that. We climbed, and we climbed, and we climbed, unable to see our destination. After some time, we also lost sight of our point of origin. I had no idea where this far... We were this far down. Watch your step. I won't be able to catch you if you fall. Yeah, I'll be careful. Of course, now that I'm actually thinking about it, I'm gonna fall. Maybe I should try talking about something to take my mind off of it. Oh, hey, Kirigiri. There was something I wanted to ask you. You're the super duper high school sleuth, right? How long have you been a detective? How long? Oh yeah, right. Okay, so I forgot to point out that I was completely right and I called. Did I point out that I was completely right and I called it? I may have, but I like to point out when I'm right because it's so rare that I'm right. But hey, I was right. You guys should give me way more credit. How long? I've always been one, ever since I was a child. Since the old days, when detective work was considered far more valuable than it is today. The Kirigiri family has made its livelihood as detectives. That's cool to be born into a family of detectives? Does that happen? I don't know. That's cool. I mean, there's like military families, right? So I imagine there must be. Oh, I'm gonna be a detective too, Dad. Then your family's pretty famous, isn't it? Actually, quite the opposite. We're relatively unknown, even amongst others in the same line of work. Probably because they choose to be. Huh? But why? If you got such strong family tradition. We pride ourselves in it. Pride? Detectives represent neither light nor dark. It is precisely because we are neither good nor evil that we are able to find the one truth. We are obligated to maintain neutrality, so for that reason, we must separate ourselves from the world. That is a philosophy I can get behind, because I don't believe that the world is black and white. I think the world is a very gray. I think it's this big gray splotch. Thus, we deliberately keep our existence hidden away. You keep hidden? It's an obsolete, old-fashioned, illogical way of thinking. But despite that, we still abide by it. After all, it is our pride. Pride. Ah, I think I get it. The reason I couldn't find anything about her in the new student of Hope Academy thread was because she kept that information hidden to uphold her family's pride. This was months ago that I started this series, so like, this is like, oh yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Demo.
But I trampled on that pride. What?
私は
I sold myself out to the Hope Academy faculty, so I would be selected for administration. Knowing full well my actions were unworthy of the Kirigiri family detective. She went so far as to trample over her family's pride. So she would enroll in Hope Academy, and she wanted to do that because you were really looking forward to meeting your dad, weren't you? I can't blame you. Why was your dad the principal the headmaster? Headmaster? Something like that. If he's a detective, if he was born into a family of detectives. That seems odd, I think. Looking forward to it? I have absolutely nothing to look forward to in a reunion with my father. Ah? But you haven't seen your dad in so long. Surely there's a bunch of stuff you want to talk about.
違うわ。
I have nothing to talk about to him. Talk to him
だ
about.
けど
I'll make things up. But I do have something to tell him. I hate you, father. You want to tell him something?
私は
There's something I absolutely want to tell that man. To meet with him directly and tell him to his face. And what's that?
それは
That I'm cutting off all ties. That he's no longer my father. Alright. So, normal family stuff. No longer her father. The last time I saw that man, I was still a child. So, I don't know a lot about him. Other than that, he was apparently very intelligent. The Kirigiri family had high hopes for the future with him as the next family head.
だけど
But he hated being a detective. Okay, well, I guess that explains why he became a headmaster. So he withdrew himself from the Kirigiri family. When my mother died, he used that as an excuse to run away from home. He had a big fight with my grandfather, the head, and then he left, leaving me, still young, behind. I'm sure he had a good reason. I bet your dad really wanted to bring you with him.
そう
In that case, I should be thankful. Thankful he left me behind. Unlike that man, I actually take pride in my work as a detective. I take pride in the Kirigiri family. So, I am grateful from the bottom of my heart that he didn't take me with him. Had he, by some chance, actually taken me with him, I would not have been able to become a detective. Climbing the ladder ahead of her, I was unable to see Kirigiri's face. So, I had no other way to know what kind of expression, what kind of emotion her face bore. So that's something else. I for some reason, talking about her face, reminded me of when she was really red in the face and getting crushed by the thing. And at some point, I said, why didn't, the AI, help Kirigiri instead of, it helping Negi? And someone pointed out in the comments, it's because Negi was the super duper high school Luxter, which I completely forgot about because he kept saying, oh, I'm just a normal, ordinary boy. And And then it was like, okay, well, no, you're actually lucky. That's actually your thing, is you're actually lucky. And also the fact that he didn't get, like, murderlated, you know, is also probably luck, because Giri showed up to save him. And, yeah, so there's that, in case you guys don't go and read the comments, which it was made in. But yeah, so there's that. So I had no way of knowing. As she said those words, all I could tell was that, as compared to usual, she was speaking more freely, and perhaps more brazenly.
私は
I had no intention of blaming that man. His life is his to live. Okay. And I'm sure it sounds like I'm being dismissive, but that's honestly how I feel. Well, you're going to disown him, or, yeah, I mean, you're going to disown him. Like, how else could that be interpreted? As, you know, you blaming him. Like, that's what it sounds like. It's like you're blaming him. I don't care what you just said. It sounds like you're blaming him a little bit. Just a little bit.
だけど
There's just one thing that I can never forgive him for. And what's that?
それは
The way people look at me. I felt no sorrow at having been left behind. Rather, I thought I was better off for it.
でも
But people didn't see me like that. I was always thought of as the girl who was abandoned by her father. And that's how they all looked at me.
私は
I'm sick and tired of it. I'm fed up with having my past, that man's shadow, always hanging over me. Oh, okay. Well, now that explains it. I want to cut him out of my life once and for all.
そう
And that's why I have to tell him to his face that I'm cutting all ties. So I can clear the books on our past. And I can remove that man from my life. Of course, he's probably forgotten all about me by now. But your family isn't severing relations a bit much?
違うわ
He and I simply share the same blood, nothing more. We may be connected by our blood, but our hearts are disconnected.
ね
Can you really call that family? They're connected by blood, but their hearts are disconnected. She had been so sure, so firm in saying that, I couldn't think of any way to respond. So I could do nothing but keep my mouth shut. That's probably the best. Yeah, I mean, she probably knows her family matters better than you do, Negi. You nosy person, you. To continue climbing in silence. After some time, we finally arrived. The music starts again. It looks like this is the end.
ええ
Hope Academy is on the other side of that door. We hope. We've returned.
そうよ
You remember the door in the dormitory's trash room floor? That should be where we come out. Okay. I unlocked the door ahead of time, so there shouldn't be any problem opening it. I'll give it a shot. I pressed my hand against the door above my head and I pushed. With little resistance, the door opened. Then... Yay! We've returned! That was unbelievable. That was an unbelievably long ladder. I'm exhausted. Somehow, we made it back. Whether you could say we were unharmed was another issue altogether. But what's to stop Monokuma from murdering you anyway? Like just showing up and being like, dab, or javelins of despair, or whatever he did to, that other person. Oh! Oh, I met a cosplayer who was cosplayed as the lady with the fingernails, and I gave her a card, and I asked her if she was the villain of this game, and she just like looked right past me and walked and said, "You'll have to find out." I was like, okay, well that's suspicious, but it was because of the fingernails on the corpse that I asked, and it was pretty funny that I got that reaction. She was there with a Ray cosplayer. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Comic-Con was fun, and in case anyone was wondering. Somehow we made it back. Whether you unharmed was another issue altogether. But here we were, Hope Academy. Thank you, Giri. You saved my life. You don't need to thank me. I was just repaying a favor. Cool. Okay. So I didn't think we were gonna come out here. I thought we were gonna come out inside of that room, but I guess not. I don't really remember the door on the floor. So, what do we do from here? I managed to dodge one bullet, and that's great and all, but if the Puppet Master finds me, it's not just me who's in danger, but you too, since you saved me. Are you worried? Well, yeah. Then how about we ask him directly? Huh? Him. Monokuma, ask him whether your escaping is a problem or not. But it's just a matter of time before you're found, and it's not like there's anywhere to run into anyway. Well, he can't murder you outside of the trial room, right? Like, that's a thing? I wonder if this is double jeopardy, so I can't be killed again. I can get one free murder in. As she spoke, Giri pointed at the security camera. So you're saying if my only option is to wait to be caught, then I'd be better off surrendering. Don't worry. Things won't end up the way you're afraid they will. After all, it's the Puppet Master who's been driven into a corner, not us. The Puppet Master's been driven into a corner? You said that before, but what do you mean? By holding Mikuro Ikasawa's class trial, the Puppet Master revealed his hand. And that's something we can take advantage of. Something we can take advantage of. You'll see when we talk to Monokuma. Also, it's to our benefit to act first, before you're discovered. We want any advantage we can get for this negotiation. I'm a little bit... more than a little bit nervous. We've got no choice, do we? Monokuma should be in the gymatorium. I can't get that one right. Let's go, shall we? Alright. Can you open this lock? I want to see what's in here. Oh. That's what's in... You didn't have to open it. Okay, I'll be silly. Okay, no, we'll continue. We'll go ask him, and then I'll end the episode. This is the bathhouse, right? Okay, well, let's use the thingy. Okay, yeah. No, we're going the right way, sort of the right way. Go this way. Let's run all the way down here, past the classroom trial room, past the shop that I have no reason to spend money at anymore, and down to the gymatorium. Hello, gymatorium. Open the door. All right. Well. I get Kirigiri. But why is the should have been executed has been Negi here with you? Can't say I didn't see that reaction coming. Am I really going to be okay? Probably? Maybe? Mayhaps? Did you perhaps save him? And after all the trouble I went through preparing his punishment?
なんで
And what if I did? If the villain is correctly identified during the class trial, he alone will be punished. I'm sorry to say it, but those are the rules. So, I'll just have to punish you again, and this time, I'll make sure it works. Kirigiri? If that's what you want to do, go right ahead. What?
でも
But before you do, just let me say one thing.
もし
If you execute Negi, then you lose. Are you okay with that?
は
Huh? Me? Lose? Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
だって
The class trial was just a big setup, wasn't it? So, you could smoke me out and kill me.
つま
In other words, had things gone according to plan, it would have been me executed there. Hold on. What are you saying?
りでも
But your expectations were blown way off track because Negi let my lie slip through unnoticed. You didn't see that coming. It didn't even cross your mind that, in that situation, someone would stand up for someone else.
そう
And your response to that makes me feel even worse, by the way. Your response to that unexpected turn of events
そうよ
was to call Negi the villain and execute him. You were desperate. No, it was more than desperation. You felt threatened by Negi because he doesn't do what you expect him to. Me.
だけど
But that wasn't the only surprise waiting for you in the glass heart. My brain turned off for a minute, just in case you were wondering. For the class trial, someone interfered with Negi's execution. Alter ego. You miscalculated. You didn't consider that someone who was already dead would save someone else.
そうなんでしょ
And that is the truth. It wasn't Negi who murdered Makuro Ikasaba. It was you. Me.
いいわね
And yet, for you to execute Negi in spite of that, isn't that a violation of the rules you so adore? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the villain is only supposed to be executed if he's identified correctly. And that means I lose? Let me get this straight. You're saying the real villain is me, not Negi?
Yeah!
Then where's your evidence?
そう
I don't have any. She doesn't sugar. She doesn't sugarcoat it. I'll just go ahead and stutter for it. Is this your idea of a joke? How can you talk like a big shot and not even have any evidence to back it up?
別にいいじゃない
I don't have any now, but with a little more time, I'll be able to find everything I need.
そうよ
As much as you might try to hide it, there is only one truth.
Boom, boom!
What's your deal? Now you're pilfering catchphrases from super detectives?
だって
Is that a famous catchphrase? I don't know. If Negi really did kill her, then he wouldn't have come to you like this. He'd have gone into hiding, trembling under the weight of his own sins, cowering in fear of punishment, rotting away in your precious despair.
でも
But we're here, standing up to you. We haven't lost hope.
なんだよ
You're trying to say that counts in place of evidence. Well, you think that's enough to satisfy me?
え
You're right. That wouldn't satisfy you. But
えね
it's the same for the people watching this. Executing Negi now will not satisfy them. What?
そうよ。
If you execute Negi right now, this is what the people watching will think. They'll think that you forcibly executed Negi because everything we said was right.
いいわね。
They think that hope cannot be killed with despair. Yeah.
ね
If your stance is that what we're saying is baseless, then you just have to prove it, right? No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you execute Negi while his guilt is still in question, then you're admitting defeat. I guess that's logical. If you want to experience despair fairly and impartially, then you will accept my proposition.
そうするべきよ。
You must accept it. Yay. So, what is it, this proposition of yours?
そう。
That we retry Mikuro Ikasawa's murder case. And that, this time, you hold a fair class trial, abiding by the school rules.
そこで最後の勝負をしま
Let
しょう。
this be our final battle, the final battle between hope and despair.
ね
Pretty fitting for a climax, don't you think? A fair class trial, the final battle, in other words, a trial to reveal the Puppet Master's identity? But the Puppet Master has no reason to accept a challenge like that. Surely he'll get rid of me, no questions asked. Is that how the game ends? That's interesting. Intriguing.
ク
Very intriguing. Really? Barry?
マどうかしたクマ
I'm trying out a new personality. I couldn't bear the old one any longer. Anyways, that's not a very bad idea. It is a pretty fitting climax, I'll give you that.
つまり
So you accept?
君たち
If I do, will that satisfy you lot and the viewers? And when you're satisfied, will you despair for... It just dawned on me why we had, like, commercials during Negi's sleep and stuff. Are we the viewers? Are we viewing this, like, as... Were those commercials for us? That's interesting. And when you're satisfied, will you despair for me? If you will, then honey, show me where to... Ursine? Ursine. Okay. Will you lot and your hope win out, or will me and my despair take the crown?
悲しみクマ
A veritable final battle, a real Kodiak moment. He accepted? Then that means there's still a chance.
クマ
However, since this is the climax, it would be pretty boring if all you had to do was find the culprit.
君たち
So, to make it befitting of a final conflict, you lot need to lay bare all of the mysteries. All of the mysteries? Every single mystery buried in the academy. If you manage to solve all of them,
悲しみクマ
then I'll call it you lot's victory.
そうね
That's what I was planning on doing from the very beginning. And that takes care of that. If you lot can uncover Mikuro Ikasawa's murderer, how the crime was committed, and, on top of that,
君たち
solve all the Academy's mysteries, then I'll admit defeat. But when the polar opposite happens, we'll all be executed, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the grisly truth, just what kind of despair you lot show me, will you lot show me? We're the ones who should be excited.
いいわね
when we reveal everything. Just how much despair will Super Duper High School Despair be in? I feel like I just witnessed the start of something outrageous.
ね
Me too. It was truly, truly outrageous. But first, I'd like to clarify something. You said before that the class trials are held when murders are committed among the students, right?
どうかしたクマ
What of it?
ね
I'd like to confirm that there are no inaccuracies in that statement. There's no need to try to pry it out of me. I'm an approachable kind of bear. Everything that's happened has all been in the accordance with the school rules. And it goes without saying, Mikuro Ikusaba's class trial is no exception. Ah? Mikuro Ikusaba's class trial is no exception. It was held in accordance with the school rules. Then that means the person who killed her... Actually, while we're at it, I'll give you one more hint. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but there are a total of 16 participants, all of whom are students in this academic coliseum. Also, since the coliseum commenced operation, the only living humans to set foot in the academy are those very same 16 students. Okay. What?
ね
Is that the truth? Meh. Meh. Why the silent treatment all of a sudden? Meh.
怒ってるんだよ
This conversation's over. I ain't got nothing left to talk to you guys about. Now scram! Now he's angry? Maybe he has borderline personality disorder. That's not funny. Shut up and get lost. Alright. We're going. We're going. Are you sure? I can go. Me. Whatevs. It doesn't matter. You're all gonna get punished later. Either way. So I'm gonna prepare something very despairingly special for you guys. Let's go, Negi. Okay. With our backs turned to Monokuma's creepy, unstable laughter, Kirigiri and I left the gym. I don't really know what just happened, but I didn't get executed. I'm not dead, somehow. I really didn't expect that to work. And now, I've got another reason to be thankful to Kirigiri. Okie dokie. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and end this here. It went a little bit longer than I expected, but it is a thing that happened, so a lot did happen just now. We set the game up for the conclusion, which I assume, I don't know, is gonna happen at some point. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, comment on what you think of the game so far. Go check out the other videos I've done. I will see you soon. No.